Hello lovelies, welcome back to another interesting tutorial. If you are new here, you are welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I say thank you so much for coming back to watch my videos. So please, if you've not subscribed to my channel yet, please consider hitting on the subscribe button and also turn on your bell notification to be the first to be updated whenever I upload a new video. So today we are going to be learning how to cut and sew A-line thread skirt, and it's not going to have zipper, it's going to have elastic, and the band is going to be cut separate for the elastic. So let's get right into the video. If this is what you like to learn, stay tuned. So I'm using this Duchess satin and it's about 4 yards, but I'm not going to fold it triangular as you fold flare because my client don't want it that full. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video. So the measurements I'm using for this skirt, because it's going to have elastic, we are not going to use the waist measurements. We are going to use the hip, and the hip circumference is 48 inches and the length of the skirt is 42 inches. So we'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance, so that is 44 inches. So let me fold the fabric and see if we can get exact length of the skirt. The length of this fabric is 60 inches by 4 meters. So I'm going to be folding it in half. This is the good side of the fabric and this is the wrong side. So I have folded it into 2 and I'm going to fold it again into 2, but I'm going to fold it in a slant way. So I have folded the fabric into 4. As you can see, I folded it into 2 like this, and then I folded it again into 2, but in a slant way. You can see that I fold it like so. Because my table is small, I cannot show the whole fabric, but I will push it for you to see how the down parts look. So this is how the down part look. You can see I folded it slant way like this. So now let's start with the measurements. So first of all, I'll be marking my starting line here. This is where I'm going to start my measurements from. So the next thing is to mark the length of the skirt. So the length I'm using 42 with the sewing allowance. I'm marking 42 inches vertically like this, and I'm going to mark it all to the end. So after marking 42, I'm going to connect the points. So the next thing to do is to impute the horizontal measurement. As I said initially, I'm using elastic for this skirt. Because I'm using elastic for the waist, we don't need waist measurement. We are using the hip measurement for everything. So with this, I divide the hip measurement by 4 and we are adding ease and then sewing allowance. So the hip is 48 inches divided by 4 is 12 inches. So I'll be marking 12 inches here plus 2 inches ease, that's 14 inches plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance. So all is 15.5 inches. So from this 15.5 inches point, I'll connect straight to the hem of the skirt with my long ruler. So it's very easy skirt. I've folded the front and the back together. There's no zipper, only elastic. The next thing to do is on the hem line, I'm going to come up by 2 inches and I'll slant it with my curved ruler, not to have that pointed at the end of the hem line. This is it. It's very simple and easy to make. You only need your hip measurements for the waist, and you add some ease allowances of your choice. And then coming to the hemline, on the side you come up by 2 inches and slant it, so that after sewing it will not be pointed on the side. It will get that nice curved shape. So the next thing to do is to cut it out. So guys, this is how the A-line skirt look like. You see, it's simple. If you like, you can add inside pockets, but I'm not fixing pockets today. So what I'm going to do now is to start sewing the skirt, and I'm going to place the 2 good sides facing each other together, and then sew with 1.5 inch all the way to the hemline on both sides. I sew on this side 1.5 inch to the hemline, and then also from this side also to the hemline, and then I will give it a good press, hem the down with 1 inch, and then come and show you how I'm going to fix the band. So guys, I'm done joining the skirt, and I went ahead and fold the hem. I fold it with 1 inch. And also, sorry, I thought my camera was recording, but it was not. So I will illustrate to you how I put this design in front of the skirt. This is just a design in front my client asked for. Just in front, not the back. So this is a pattern paper. I fold it into 2. You can do any length you want, because it's just the leftover fabric she asked me to put in front for it. So you fold the paper in half like this and fold it again into 4. The next thing to do is to measure around the waistline and then divide it by 2. When you divide it by 2, you place it on the upper side like this. Let me trim this part off. So I fold it into 2, fold it again to 4. The opening side is on the top here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the side. But below, the down part is folded. So we are going to mark half of the waistline here on the top. So let's say this is the waist. Because you folded the paper into 4, you measure around the waist of the skirt. You see, you measure all around the top like this. That's the waist. You measure all and divide it by 4, because you folded this paper into 4. Then let's say this is the waist. Then from the waistline, I connect it straight down to the hem of the paper. Then I cut it out. You see, this is the down part is closed. This is it. So what you'll be doing is you place it on the waist, on the front piece, before joining the sides. So this is what I did. It's simple and easy to make. So the next thing to do now is to measure all around the waist so that I can cut the band for the elastic, because we are attaching the elastic band separately, not folding the skirt's waist together to put the elastic. The elastic band is going to be separate. So I'll measure all around the waist to know how long the band will be. So here I have, let's say 61 inches. So I'll be cutting the band 63 inches. I'll add 2 inches. So I'll be using this leftover fabric to cut the band. I'll place interfacing on half of the band and then iron it and come and show you how to attach it to the skirts. So guys, I've gone ahead and cut the band. So the elastic I'm using is 1 inch. So I cut the band 3 inches and I folded half an inch on each side of the band. You see, I iron half an inch. I didn't iron the hard interfacing I use hairstay. This one, it's like fabric. So this is it. So what I'll be doing next is to attach it to the skirt. So I'll place the good side of the band to the wrong side of the skirt, like so. So this is the center of the skirt. I mark both the back and the front. So I'll be placing the band like this and sew it all around the waist. Then when I get to this side, I'll just stitch it so that the joining will be at the center back of the skirt. Then I'll come and show you the next thing to do. So guys, as you can see, I've attached the band on the waist. Because the elastic is 1 inch, I cut the band 3.5 inches, folded in half, and I iron the interfacing on just one side of the band. So what I'm going to do now is to flip it over to the right side of the skirt. Flip it over like this, and I'm going to stitch it all around and leave about 1.5 inch gap to pass the elastic through. So let me go and do just that and come back and show you how I'm going to insert the elastic. So guys, I'm done stitching the band to the skirt. So this is the gap I left. I left this opening about 1.5 inch. Hope you can see it. So I'll be cutting the elastic. So to insert the elastic, you have to measure your waist circumference and then minus 4 to 5 inches. The waist circumference I'm working with here is 44 inches. So 44 inches, you can minus 4, 5 or 6, depending on how tight you want the waist to be. So with this, I'll minus 5 inches. 44 minus 5 is 39 inches. So the band is going to be 39 inches. And I'm going to add 2 inches for the sewing allowance. So in all, I have 41 inches. So I'll be cutting 41 inches. So I'll be using this safety pin to pass the elastic through the waist. I'll pass it like so. Make sure that the elastic don't twist. So guys, this is the finishing look of our A-line flared skirt with a simple design in front. So after inserting the elastic, I went ahead and closed the gap where I passed the elastic through. So this is how the front look like. This is our back. So guys, we have come to the end of today's video. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, share my video, subscribe if you've not done so, and also leave your comment down below. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.